A Canadian kid playing for his country's only team, one of baseball's top prospects. He played the game hard, aggressively, and emotionally. Brett Lawrie had it all and looked like he was on his way to becoming a superstar for the Toronto Blue Jays. At the time, you couldn't go anywhere in the city without seeing a Lawrie jersey, but almost as quickly as he appeared, he was gone. This is the story of Brett Lawrie and the Toronto Blue Jays. Hailing from Langley, British Columbia, Lawrie became the highest drafted Canadian position player of all time when he was selected 16th overall by the Milwaukee Brewers in the 2008 draft.
The Milwaukee Brewers select Brett Lawrie.
About a month after being drafted, Lawrie was selected to play for Team Canada in the 2008 World Junior Baseball Championships, where he had a tournament-best .496 batting average to go along with 3 home runs and 16 RBIs. Later that summer, he became the youngest member of the Canadian Olympic baseball team at only 18 years old. The Brewers selected Lawrie as a catcher, but he felt like he was better off playing a different position, as he felt he would have a quicker path to the majors, and he worried that catching would take too much of a toll on his legs and would affect his aggressive base running. He was eventually converted into a second baseman. During Lawrie's time in the Brewers system, he and management seemingly butted heads. The organization wanted him to play in the Arizona Fall League, and he would not be invited to Major League camp that spring if he didn't. Lawrie still refused, saying he needed a break following a 135-game AA season, and he felt he didn't have any more to prove. Many within the Milwaukee organization had the same feeling about Lawrie. He was cocky. Both Prince Fielder and Ryan Braun took notice and shared the same feeling about Lawrie and his cocky attitude. Carlos Villanueva came to the defense of Lawrie, saying, "Sometimes confidence like that gets misinterpreted. Obviously, when a young kid gets signed out of high school and he starts saying, 'I'm going to be here in the majors next year,' older guys won't like that." Blue Jays general manager Alex Anthopoulos took notice of Lawrie, and he desperately wanted to bring him into the Toronto organization. The team conducted background checks into Lawrie and decided to pull the trigger on a trade. The Jays wanted to send prospects to the Brewers, but Milwaukee wanted the Blue Jays' 2010 opening day starter, Sean Markham. On December 6, 2010, they pulled the trigger. The fiery, hard-nosed Lawrie was now a Toronto Blue Jay. When Lawrie arrived in Toronto, they made the switch to third base. Going into the 2011 season, Lawrie was ranked as MLB's 28th best prospect. With a new organization and a fresh start, Lawrie said everything had changed for him. "When I got here, a lot of smiles, a lot of good energy. They were happy to have me, a Canadian kid. A lot of good guys, too. I came in and tried to fly under the radar for as long as I could." The flying under the radar didn't last very long, with a great showing in spring and his high-energy play. After his showing in spring training, he was sent to AAA, where Anthopoulos wanted him to work on his plate discipline and his defense. While in AAA, Lawrie suffered a broken hand, which held him out for a couple of weeks, but he was tearing it up when he was healthy. He hit to a .353 average and a 1.076 OPS. In August of 2011, Lawrie got the call. He was heading to the show. On August 5th, 2011, Lawrie made his MLB debut against the Baltimore Orioles. He batted ninth and went 2 for 4 with an RBI single, coming in his first MLB at-bat.
Brett Lawrie gets an RBI single in his first big league at-bat.
His first season in the pros ended in September when he fractured his finger fielding a ball during batting practice. He finished the season appearing in 43 games with a .293 average, a .953 OPS, 9 home runs, 25 RBIs, and 7 stolen bases. Going into the 2012 season, the Brett Lawrie hype was over the top. A top prospect becoming an everyday player for the club had fans' hopes very high. His 2012 season got off to a hot start, batting .282 with 3 home runs and 6 stolen bases by the end of May, and he was showing signs of being a more well-rounded batter instead of just a power hitter. His most memorable moment, arguably, of his Toronto Blue Jays career came in a game on May 15th against the Tampa Bay Rays. In the bottom of the 9th inning, with the Jays down 4-3 and Lawrie at bat, he worked a 3-1 count. Umpire Bill Miller called the next 2 pitches strikes, although they looked to be outside the zone. Lawrie was furious with the call and in a fit of rage slammed his helmet into the ground and it bounced up and hit Miller. Lawrie was ejected from the game and earned him a 4-game suspension.
That's going to cost Brett Lawrie. And now they've got to get Lawrie and get him back in the dugout.
Lawrie's season continued to show solid numbers at the plate with good average, but missing some of the power he showed in his 2011 debut. In August, Lawrie suffered an oblique injury, which landed him on the injured list and forced him to miss a month of the season. Coming back in September, Lawrie struggled to find much offense, only hitting .198 with 1 home run over the last 23 games of the season. The Jays failed to make the postseason again, finishing 4th in the AL East with a 73-89 record, ending Lawrie's first full season in the pros, with 125 games played, .273 batting average, 11 home runs, 13 stolen bases, and a .729 OPS. Although he didn't have the season many Jays fans had hoped for, there was still plenty of hype surrounding the young player. By the end of the year, his jersey ranked in the top 20 of all jersey sales in the MLB. In the 2012 offseason, the Jays made a few big splashes, landing R.A. Dickey, Jose Reyes, and Mark Burley. With Lawrie entering his age 23 season, the Jays had very high expectations coming into the season. Lawrie trained hard over the winter in hopes of staying healthy for a full season, but those hopes were dashed before the season even started. Lawrie suffered a rib cage injury during the World Baseball Classic that would hold him out until the middle of April. When he did return, his struggles from the end of 2012 continued. He hit just .209 with a .268 on-base percentage through the end of May. He suffered another injury on May 27th, spraining his ankle while sliding into second base, and again he spent a month on the injured list, returning at the end of June. After returning, Lawrie had his best month of the season. He hit .313 in July with 3 home runs and greatly improved his plate discipline. With his strong play to end the season, he showed flashes of his 2011 debut, but many still wondered if he would ever reach his full potential. The injuries and inconsistency were starting to become a trend at this point in his career. He finished his 2013 season with only 107 games played, with a .254 batting average and a .712 OPS with 11 home runs. Going into the 2014 season, it was seen by many as a make-or-break year for Lawrie. He got off to a hot start, hitting for more power, having 8 home runs by the middle of May, on pace for a career high. Nearing the end of May, the Blue Jays were sitting first in the AL East, and Lawrie looked to be on his way to finally living up to his expectations. As it had in past seasons, the injury bug struck Lawrie again. On June 22nd, he took a pitch off his hand from Johnny Cueto and suffered a fractured index finger. He returned on August 5th after missing 36 games, and he only lasted 4 innings.
In the inning, Danny Valencia at third. He replaced Lawrie, who was removed from the game after 3 innings with lower back tightness.
He would be placed again on the injured list, and it would effectively end his 2014 season. In only 70 games played, Lawrie hit .247 with 12 home runs and an OPS of .722 before his season was cut short. The Blue Jays seemingly grew tired of waiting for Lawrie to live up to his full potential and to stay healthy for a full season, and in the offseason of 2014 pulled off a franchise-altering trade. On November 28, 2014,
Brett Lawrie, he goes to Oakland. Josh Donaldson, he is coming to the Toronto Blue Jays.
The trade, in retrospect, was a steal for Toronto. In his first season with the Blue Jays, Donaldson had a career-best season, hitting 41 home runs with a .297 average, en route to winning the AL MVP and leading the Blue Jays to the postseason for the first time since their 1993 World Series.
Their first division title in 22 years. It has been a long time coming.
In Oakland, Lawrie set career highs with 149 games played and 16 home runs. He also set a career high in strikeouts, with 144 to only 28 walks. The A's decided to move on from him following that season and dealt him to the Chicago White Sox. He played 94 games for Chicago in the 2016 season, and he was released before the 2017 season. Brett Lawrie's time in Toronto was full of excitement and unfulfilled potential. When he first arrived, he was viewed as a franchise cornerstone for years to come. A Canadian-born player with an intense fire for the game gave Jays fans plenty to be excited about. Injuries and inconsistency prevented Lawrie from ever reaching his full potential. Whenever he seemed to be on the verge of a breakout, he was sidelined with another injury. The 2014 trade marked the end of Lawrie's time in Toronto, a disappointing result for many fans at the time, but ultimately began a more successful chapter for the Blue Jays. By 2017, Brett Lawrie was out of baseball entirely. Brett Lawrie's career will always be remembered in the history books of the Toronto Blue Jays. He took the city by storm. Although it was short-lived, his passion will always be remembered forever by fans.